What up, y'all? I'm here to talk about an amazing, incredible classic right here. Raekwon released his incredible classic, Only Built for Cuban Linx, of August 1st, 1995, through Wu Tang Records, Loud Records, RCA Records, and Burt Telsman Music Group, and BMG. The album was loosely composed to play like a film with Raekwon as the star, fellow Wu Tang member Ghostface Killah as the guest star, and producer RZA as the director. This is definitely a classic, man. You got a lot of bangers. You got Ice Cream, Rainy Days, Incarcerated Scarfaces, Criminology, including Knuckleheadz, Striving for Perfection, Verbal Inner with Nas and Ghostface, Wisdom Body, Spot Rushers, Ice Cream with Method Man and Ghostface Killah, Wu Gambinos. So many classics, man, including Heaven and Hell. So, yes, happy 31 years to this classic. And Can It Be All So Simple remix, classic too. Guillotine, Swordz with Ghostface Killah, we already know, Inspect the Deck. And, man, just so much, man. I love this album. So it features appearances from most members of the Wu Tang Clan, and the album introduces affiliates of Capadonna, Blue Raspberry, and has a guest appearance from rapper Nas, already mentioned, which marked the first collaboration with a non-Wu Tang affiliate. And Only Built for Cuban Linx was, it debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 chart, and number 2 on the top R&B hip-hop albums chart, and while selling at 130,000 copies of its first opening week, and the album was certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America of October 5th of 1995, and platinum on February 24th of 2020, that was 6 years ago. According to Nielsen Soundscan, it has sold 1.1 million copies in the US as of 2009 at the time. Although it failed to acquire the same initial sales success as previous Wu solo albums, Cuban Linx achieved greater critical praise, with many complimenting its cinematic lyricism and production. And the album had received acclaim from music critics and writers over the years, with many lauding it as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. And with its emphasis of on American mafia insinuations, and organized crime, the album is widely regarded as a pioneer of the mafioso rap subgenre. It's considered to have been highly influential on hip hop over the next decade, and being heavily referenced on albums such as Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt from '96 and the Notorious B.I.G.'s Life After Death of '97, along with GZA's Liquid Swords. Only Built for Cuban Linx is the most acclaimed solo Wu work, and Rolling Stone magazine have placed it at number 480 on their 500 greatest albums of all time list in 2012, and at number 219 in 2020 reboot of the list. And more history about this album. Raekwon had released it as his debut solo album, and it followed the release of Wu-Tang member solo projects, including Method Man's Tikal of '94 and ODB's Return of the 36 Chambers in the year of '95, that dirty version. And following after the group's debut album, Enter the Wu 36 Chambers of '93. And the track from the latter album, Can It Be All So Simple, was the first recorded collaboration between Raekwon and Ghostface Killah, a partnership that would become a central feature of Only Built for Cuban Linx. And the album draws heavily from the personal experience of Raekwon and Ghostface Killah growing up in Staten Island, New York, depicting street life, hustling, and other realities of their environment, of them growing up in. And in an interview with Wax Poetics, Raekwon has described the album as a reflection of his upbringing, expressions the feeling of living a life that's shaped by crime and the allure of a mobster lifestyle. And Ghostface Killah has similarly recalled engaging in physical confrontations, club fights, and reckless behavior that led to him getting banned from local nightclubs, including the Tunnel, during that period, highlighting the intensity and rawness that characterized their early lives. And Chef and Tony Starks himself, Ray and Ghost's creative partnership was defined by a strong mutual rapport, both sharing similarity tastes in humor, fashion, and culture, which created a dynamic often compared to the synergy of EPMD with the Wu Tang Collective. And producer RZA emphasized that the album captured this authenticity, presenting that street life in a way that felt lived in rather than performative. He described the project as a depiction of New York's gritty urban reality rooted in the crack era environment of their adolescence and intended to confront stereotypes and channel the energy of their neighborhoods. And the album featured contributions from the numerous of Wu Tang Clan members, affiliates, including Capadonna and Blue Raspberry, and also includes a guest appearance from fellow rapper Nas, already mentioned, in which the latter described his collaboration as spontaneous, with sessions arising from the casual visits from Queensbridge to Staten Island rather than planned studio work. He praised Raekwon as an artist ahead of his time and recognized the album as a project destined to achieve classic status. And the album's title was intended to signal its musical intensity, warning listeners of the raw and unfiltered content witnessing. And its original proposed title was Only Built for Cuban Linx ends, but was later changed to the more commercially acceptable title Only Built for Cuban Linx. And the concept of the title was inspired by Cuban link chains, known for their strength and durability. Raekwon framed the title as a metaphor for resilience and toughness, reflecting the strength and authenticity of the people represented on the album. And the project is also widely known as the Purple Tape, and a nickname derived from the entirely purple plastic of the original cassette. Raekwon chose that design as a reference to the way drug dealers marked their products, creating a distinctive visual identity that set apart from others. And the color and branding of the tape were intended to convey recognition and authenticity, similar to how a dealer would mark high-quality goods on the streets. Man, this album has quite of a history, but it's still a classic, y'all. Especially RZA producing it too, and being the director of it. Man, I love this album. It's a classic, man. Nobody could ever duplicate a classic like this in a lifetime. Nobody can do that. Nobody, not even one. So, more to it, RZA handled the production of the album entirely in his basement studio in Staten Island. In the same space where many of the group's earlier albums were created, the recording began in late of 94 and continued through mid-95, with RZA managing all the aspects of engineering himself without assistance or outside interference. And Ray and Ghost had initially considered recording in Barbados, but they abandoned the plan due to the hostile racial conditions and returned to RZA's basement to complete the project. And the studio environment allowed for flexibility, spontaneous creation, with artists arriving on their own schedules to work with the beats and instrumentation that RZA had provided. So RZA approached the production with the goal of matching Raekwon's combination of 5%er ideology and inner city experience. He crafted a layer polished sound that was slower and more cinematic than earlier Wu efforts, incorporating strings, piano loops, and vocal samples from kung fu and mafia films. And this approach that reinforced Ray's cinematic mobster-style narrative with tracks structured like scenes from a crime movie. RZA cited soul musician Isaac Hayes as an influence on the album's orchestral elements, and several of the beats, including one for Incarcerated Scarfaces, were originally intended for GZA's Liquid Swordz, 95, before being reassigned to Raekwon due to his timely creative input. And Raekwon clarified that the process was collaborative yet fluid, with him selecting beats that suited his album while avoiding those conflicts over that production. Throughout the project, RZA had sampled dialogue from John Woo's film The Killer of 1989, and the director later expressed that appreciation for the use of his material, beginning his friendship with RZA. And Wu mentored RZA on cinematic techniques and shared the meals with Raekwon and Ghost, and the connection further reinforced the album's cinematic sensibility and commitment to a narrative-driven, filmic approach to hip-hop production. I gotta tell y'all, man, the rest is history. This album will always be a super incredible, phenomenal classic. The rest is history. I love this record. I was so delighted to get a hold of this album. Well, more history to it of this album. Let's talk about the songs. Though several songs such as Glaciers of Ice and Incarcerated Scarfaces received radio play only on 3 official singles were released through the album, and the first of which was Heaven and Hell, released of October 24th of 1994. Aside from being the album's first single, it was also the first song that was recorded for the album, serving as an installment to that soundtrack for the movie Fresh with Samuel L. Jackson. The song features the second recorded appearance of Wu affiliate Blue Raspberry, who provides the backing vocals. By early of 95, Heaven and Hell reached at number 21 on the Hot Rap Singles Chart, and number 34 on the Hot Dance Music Maxi Singles Chart, and Criminology, with Glaciers of Ice on the B-side, was released on June 26 of 1995 and achieved notable chart success, and it peaked at number 43 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 34 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs Chart, number 5 on the Hot Rap Singles Chart, and number 2 on the Hot Dance Music Maxi Singles Chart sales chart. And RZA had produced that track by emulating DJ-style breakbeat, drawing the inspiration from old DJ tips. Ghostface had specifically requested a breakbeat sound for the song, and his verse on the track became a widely recognized, even drawing praise from Cypress Hill's DJ Muggs, who commended the performance. And Ice Cream was released as the third and final single of September 25th of 1995, Incarcerated Scarfaces as the B-side became the most commercially successful single from the album, and it reached at number 37 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs Chart, and number 5 on the Hot Rap Singles Chart, on both the Hot Rap Singles Chart and the Hot Dance Music Max Singles sales. And the song uses different ice cream flavors as a metaphor for various ethnic of different women. That's the metaphor of it, to let y'all know. Reflecting Raekwon and Ghostface's intention to show respect for the women as queens and all of the diversity. All of them. Caucasian, African American, Latinas, Asian, you name it all. And the track also marks Capadonna's second appearance on the album and his commercial breakthrough, in which he joined the track after joking about getting on it, as RZA encouraged him to record his verse. What is your favorite song off this incredible classic? Don't forget to hit that like and sub and comment. Follow your boy. I will be glad to return. Y'all have a blessed one and stay safe. Keep bumping this incredible classic by The Chef. Here, I'll show y'all the LP real quick. Real quick. There you go. Mine's is all black. It would be so dope if I had the purple, but you know what? I'm happy what I have. As long as I have the album, I'm satisfied. It's all important. As long as it's got all the songs that I like on here. Peace, y'all. Whoops.